Hey guys, it's Logan Freeman with the LiveFree Investors Podcast. I interview investors and business owners who share investment advice so you too can live free. Today I'm talking to Ben. Ben, in a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
Logan, thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm Ben
Absolutely.
Kogut. I am in charge of investor relations and a partner at a company called HJH Investments. We specialize in syndicating commercial real estate projects, mostly throughout the Midwest. Often they're in either Kansas or Missouri, not far from where you are.
That's
And
right.
my role in the team is building relationships and raising capital from accredited investors.
Wonderful, man. Thank you for sharing that. Your background is similar to mine, that you started in the brokerage world and still do a few of those transactions. So tell me about how you transition from kind of a real estate broker into real estate syndicator, man. I'm really curious to hear that.
Yeah, it's been quite the journey. It's been a blend of a lot of education. I went and got my CCIM. I went and got my MBA, and then started attending some conferences.
Yeah.
Where I was offered an opportunity to become an investor using the money that I earned in brokerage, and then using that money to invest in other people's syndications. And so from that, I started learning the syndication process, and then built a relationship with my now current partner, Corey Harkleroad at HJH Investments. And from then on, he offered me an opportunity I couldn't refuse, to come and be a partner in the company and help him get the word out and educate people and bring in my relationships, create new relationships, and honestly, just have a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, I think that the light has definitely been turned on for you. And I think a lot of commercial real estate agents, brokers, this is a world that they might know really well, but they never actually play into this. So it's something I'm passionate about, is to try to kind of educate folks and let them know that, hey, this is something that you can utilize to help build your wealth. And by the way, you're operating it on a regular basis. And so I think it's surprising to me that more brokers and agents don't invest in commercial real estate. Do you see the same thing?
Yeah, pretty much on a daily basis, somebody's reaching out to try to learn more about how I made this transition and how
Yeah.
I'm involved in it. And I totally agree. I mean, I think that, making big commissions are great, but at the end of the day, it doesn't exactly build wealth.
Right.
But having ownership and equity, I mean, my goal for a long time has been to have lots of little pieces of equity in a lot of deals, as opposed to a lot of equity in a fewer deals,
Sure.
which is totally a fine strategy. It's just not been my strategy.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Thank you for sharing that. What's the best thing about being an investor?
So obviously the passive income is fun, but honestly the best thing is the relationships. What's now happened, being in the position that I'm at, is I've invited people to invest in deals with us, and subsequently they've asked me to invest in deals with them on other opportunities. So I've had exposure to so many other types of deals, including non-real estate deals as well.
Cool.
And so that type of relationship is probably the best thing.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and thank you for sharing that. It's when you get around a certain type of person and you hang out where they're hanging out, typically your thought processes are the same. And so, you've got a subject matter expert on commercial real estate, but you might have a subject matter expert on, a manufacturing business that needs to raise a round of funds. And it's interesting to see that the similarities. I can understand a business deal now because of the way that we structure our real estate deals. And so it's really cool to kind of go through that too. So keeping up with the current trends and opportunities can be a challenge as a real estate syndicator, as an agent, as an investor. So I'm curious, man, how do you stay up to date?
Constantly reading, constantly being on the phone with people, just connecting, using my brain, just think, try to take some intentional time to sit down and get educated as often and as deep as I possibly can. I mean, that's it.
Do you have a certain information source that you like to go to? Is it a online source? Are you a book reader? Are you digging at the library, finding really old documents and posting them on LinkedIn? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, actually, recently I found an old document that was written by the professionals at a major development company called Trammell Crow back from after the recession in the 80s.
Right.
And it was about 100 pages of lessons learned that they all wrote down and shared with us. And it was just an absolute book of wisdom. So timeless wisdom, and kind of shocking how similar, the mentality and the lessons learned are. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I know that the news can be somewhat of it can be kind of noisy sometimes, right? So going back into archives like that is a lot of fun, and you'll see a lot of books behind me here, and the shelves continue this way. So I love to read books, and I think that the best knowledge might be in books per se. So what's the best advice that you have received as an investor?
So what I like to look at ultimately are what are the unit economics. And so what I mean by that is like, if we're buying a shopping center, the shopping center is occupied by tenants, let's say they're retail or office or industrial, and that business is supported by their customers and so on and so forth. And so you gotta look down to the unit economics. What are they selling? How much profit margin is there?
Yeah.
And what do they be left with after they've incurred all their expenses? AKA, can they pay us rent?
That's right.
How long? Right? Are they in a sinking ship? Are they going to get taken out by Amazon? I mean, the secret's out about Amazon, And
yeah.
so,
You're not going anywhere.
Economics, I'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Breaking it down and seeing where the actual dollar is going to come from is super important. Stephen Covey talks about, the eighth habit, but the seventh habit or the sixth habit, I can't remember which one it is. I think it might be third or fourth actually, but it's starting with the end in mind, and that's the same kind of mentality there.
Nice. Yeah.
So this is your opportunity to promote somebody to the show. So I'm curious, what other successful investors like yourself should be on my show, Ben?
I'll call it Jason Mittman.
Okay.
Jason. He has been a mentor of mine since 2001. So almost 19 years. He's a business partner of mine. He is a wealth of knowledge.
Awesome.
And just happy to make the introduction if you don't know him already.
I don't.
And a dear friend of mine. And you should definitely interview Jason.
Absolutely, man. That's great. I will definitely take that introduction and would love to have Jason on the show. Mm-hmm. All right, man. This is the most important question of the podcast, and one that I did not brief you for. And so are you ready for this question?
Let's go. Come on.
Good question. All right. You look ready, man. What's the best way that you live free on a regular basis?
Ooh, man. The best way that I live free. Gosh, I love that question. First of all, I proudly hang an American flag out front that represents freedom. Out front of my house is what I mean.
Me too, by the way. Me too.
Yes, and everybody needs to be doing that in America, please. And just, waking up and being grateful and expressing gratitude and bringing my friends closer and just trying to help people and, living the dream. So
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Washing cars, doing whatever you got to do, man.
Just trying to help people,
Yeah.
This is a particularly important time to make sure that we're able to step up and help each other.
Excellent, man. Is there anything else that you want to share with our listeners today?
Yeah, just happy to. I'm enjoying this podcast world. I started my own podcast. You're someone that's
awesome.
Inspiring me with that. It's called the Real Estate Niche Show.
Yeah.
And reach out to me. I want to connect with as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
At Kogut on all the socials and LinkedIn and Insta and all that stuff. And just if anybody wants to talk more about commercial real estate syndication, hit me up.
Wonderful, man. Well, we'll definitely have you linked on our post. So this is Logan Freeman with the Live Free Investors Podcast, where investors and business owners share advice so you too can live free. For more insights and ideas on how you can live free, connect and message with myself and with Ben on LinkedIn today. Ben, thank you so much for joining us today, man.
My pleasure. Thanks so much, Logan. Keep it up.
Until next time, guys, live free.